Okay, but hold on.
things
Rank
make me
Step
uncomfortable.
Brothers, scale of 1 to 10,
Step
comedic
Brothers
value.
is by far the worst Will Ferrell
No.
movie out there.
You don't believe that.
Anchorman is so much better.
Welcome back to another episode of Is This for Kids? I am Jonathan Bearded Blevins.
I am Katie, MrsRuvi.
And it is, depending on when you're listening to this, either almost Christmas or already Christmas or in the Christmas octave.
It's sometime Christmas adjacent.
You'll see that we have some incredible decorations. That took me forever.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Have you ever weighed in on the when are the 12 days of Christmas debate?
No.
When are the 12 days of Christmas, John?
The 12 days of Christmas are Christmas Day and the 11 days after.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, most people think it's the 12 days leading up to Christmas.
No.
Do you have any idea how many friends that I knew growing up whose parents gave them presents for the 12 days of Christmas and it was the 12 days leading up?
That makes no sense at all.
It doesn't. It's not correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there. If you didn't know, now you know. 12 days of Christmas, Christmas Day, and the 11 after.
I am tasking you. You have already shared that you do a beautiful tradition with your family where you make a bunch of tamales. When do you make those?
So we usually make them around St. Lucie Day, which is like the 13th
Of December?
Of December, yeah. And we steam a whole bunch of them, and then we freeze some of them. We give a lot of them away. Like it's usually solidly 15 dozen.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of tamales.
And then you eat them throughout the season of Advent.
Yeah.
And Christmas.
And Christmas Day. But by Christmas Day, they're usually almost gone.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So if you didn't do that
Yeah.
and you just made whatever meal you personally wanted for Christmas, what would your meal include on Christmas Day? And you can go all out because I did.
Oh, okay. I would have assuming it's perfectly cooked.
A beef Wellington.
That was what I was about to say.
Are you
Beef
serious?
Wellington, absolutely.
I've seen you make it on Twitch before, so.
Yeah. I love a beef Wellington. I think it's very, very good. I would do an individual beef Wellington, which is a lot easier than doing the big one that you have to slice. And also you don't get very much puff pastry with that. So it's totally screwing with you. If you do like a filet mignon, because it's the same kind of meat, right?
Yep.
The beef tenderloin is filet mignon, just
Cut
not
differently.
cut up. Yeah.
Right.
So if you just cut it into individual fillets and then make each one an individual beef Wellington, I love it. It's a good one. And then I would serve it with broccolini that has a little bit of lemon and some butter. And then I would have mashed potatoes and Yorkshire puddings. Do you like Yorkshire
I
puddings?
do, yeah. They're delicious.
Love a good Yorkshire pudding.
Yep.
Yeah. So some gravy there, and then and then a really good mustard sauce on the side.
Okay. I think you're going to like mine because
Okay.
that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And I would totally have that besides the fact that beef Wellington takes forever to make. And
It's just so many steps.
yeah. And
There's
I don't
so
even
many
mind the
parts.
time, I should say. It's the steps because the time, like I love risotto and making risotto. And that's one of my favorite things to make. And that takes, you can't walk away from a risotto if you're doing it correctly. But the
There's
the
just no way to
creativity.
speed up a beef Wellington either. Like you have to wait till it cools, and
Yeah,
then
you
it's
got to
just
cook all the mushrooms.
and that there you can't make that go faster. You got to
Right.
get all the water out.
And then you have to like the whole lattice thing.
Yeah.
Impossible for me. I would never be able to do it. But it sounds delicious and I would totally eat that. For me, I'm going ribeye, medium rare. Okay. With a perfect char, of course. A nice sear. My mashed potatoes made correctly. I've never been to a restaurant that serves mashed potatoes correctly. They're missing way too many ingredients. Always too grainy. Mashed potatoes are delicious only because they are a vessel for all the other things you put in it. Now, it depends on your measurements for this because it's going to sound crazy. It's going to sound like I'm making soup. So you have to measure it very carefully. But I'm talking butter, sour cream, heavy cream, cream cheese, and Parmesan cheese all going in that thing.
Oh, that's a lot.
100%.
I mean, it doesn't sound bad. It's just a lot.
Just sounds fattening.
Yeah.
And tons of calories, which it is.
Yeah, I always hated mashed potatoes growing up, which scares people to hear that. But this is literally because we were super, super poor when I was a kid, and our mashed potatoes were potatoes.
Yeah.
Sometimes skim milk poured in on
Yeah,
them.
that's
but
like probably no
not even
seasoning.
salt.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
oh,
That's
come
the thing, too.
on.
Restaurants never seem to salt their mashed
Yeah.
potatoes. I don't understand it. Little
Yeah.
salt and pepper is all you need. Lowry's is actually really good in it, which is weird.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I know. It's a little
That
weird
is the
because
secret that nobody wants to admit. That
Yes.
Lowry's seasoned salt,
it's good. It's great on popcorn,
put
too.
it in everything.
So I'm doing that. Then I'm doing some bourbon glazed carrots and then some broccoli cheddar soup, which is my favorite soup in the winter. And then a nice French baguette with some butter and some red wine.
I'm not mad at that.
I know, right?
That's such a good dinner.
Totally gonna make it this
Love
year.
it.
Christmas Eve we make homemade pizza. On Sunday, hopefully Jody and I
maybe
will have that
we
nice
used to
meal.
let me just do that this year. Just make a Wellington. Like, he wouldn't get mad. He'd let me, like, my husband lets me do whatever I want.
He wouldn't get mad at all. He would
be
happily
delighted.
eat that, I'm
yeah,
sure.
because he's gonna eat the tamales all Advent.
And you can have them for lunch.
Exactly.
See?
Oh my gosh, what a
That's
great
sweet.
idea.
I'll see you at Christmas then.
Beautiful.
Speaking of Christmas, we get to talk about Spirited, which, before you talk about what it is and give a little synopsis, which isn't, I mean, it won't take you long to do. So when we planned this, I thought we were talking about Spirit, the Christmas movie, which is a thing. It is a animated horse movie. There's an original Spirit horse movie.
Spirit of the Stallion of the Silmarillion or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Silmarillion, that's a Tolkien novel.
Yeah, something like that though. And then there's a Christmas one.
Oh.
And so I had it ready to go, and I'm watching that. And then I was like, this is clearly for kids. What do we do? Like, what? And sometimes we do episodes like that.
Yeah.
Because parents don't know if it's for kids or not.
Yeah.
And then I double checked, and I'm like, oh no. Spirited, the movie, which at the time I never watched. I wanted to see it when I saw the previews. Never did.
Yeah.
I saw Ryan Gosling doing a bunch of stuff on social media promoting it while they were filming it. And I was like, not Ryan Gosling.
I was going to say, it
Ryan
was weird
Reynolds.
because
Oh
it was
my
Ryan
gosh.
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, sorry.
Gonna be odd.
Edit that. I saw a bunch of stuff on Ryan
Don't
Reynolds'
edit.
social media, and I was like, oh my gosh, Ryan Reynolds is doing something with Will Ferrell. It's going to be
know.
perfect.
Yes.
So I was very excited to find out that it was that one instead of the horse one.
Yeah, I'm happy for you
Thank
that
you.
it wasn't the horse movie.
Thank you.
John, I need you to see this picture
Okay.
that I took of my kids. Hang on, I'm scrolling back here. That's Christmas.
Today, Junior.
It's last Thursday. That's 45 minutes ago.
Hello.
Okay, hang on. Here it is. Here. It just took me a minute. Here.
Oh, that is a really nice picture. Instead of scrolling to show people your favorite pictures, you could just use Soul Tiles.
What's a soul tile?
It allows you to take any picture from your phone and upload it onto a piece of glass that you can then display in your house for anyone to see.
Glass. John, don't you think that's going to break?
No, it's tempered glass, which is vibrant, beautiful, and durable.
Okay, I am so bad at hanging things. Like, I can't get it straight.
Let me stop you right there. You know that I am too. My wife does all of that stuff around the house. However, Soul Tiles makes it super easy by giving you an entire direction kit and a level that helps make it super easy that even you could do it.
All right. You almost got me sold on it, but my house is so small. There's probably not sizes that make sense for us.
Scott and Elizabeth thought of everything. You can get 8x8, 8x16, 8x24, whatever size you need. Go to soultiles.com/ITFK. That's how they'll know that we sent you.
So yeah, this came out last year on Apple TV. It was not released in theaters. It was straight to Apple TV. I think there was still it was 2022, so maybe some little holdover from COVID that they thought it would be better to put it out there. But it is basically just your 7,538,000th version of Dickens' A Christmas Carol, modernized. And basically we're looking at Will Ferrell's character is one of the head ghosts that tries to bring an irredeemable person around, and he's decided that Ryan Reynolds, not Gosling, is going to be the guy this year, and he's a capitalist of the worst type and a jerk, treats women poorly, all around not a great dude, and so he's going to do the Ghosts of Christmas Present, Past, Future with him.
And he's going to be redeemable.
Yes, and just so that I tell you in advance, this is a musical. A lot of people find a musical shocking. They don't see it coming. They're like, oh my gosh, they're singing now. It's a musical. Don't be surprised when the singing starts.
Well, they both have, in my opinion, they both have great voices.
Wonderful.
Like it was, and I didn't know it was going to be a full musical. I knew it was going to be like that, but I was thoroughly entertained. I thought it was hilarious. I found myself, sometimes what I do when we're watching stuff for the show is I'll have my laptop to take notes. But I didn't have it handy or something. And so I just watched it. And halfway through, I was having so much fun that I was just like in my head, I was like, oh, this is just so good. It's so good. And then I was like, oh, you're supposed to be, it's probably not for kids. Like, it's probably not for super young kids. I was like, I'm just having way too much fun watching this as an adult.
Yeah.
But I love the singing.
Yes. I love a musical no matter what. I'm never upset when there's a musical. But I
walk away from this thinking that Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Why do I keep doing that?
I keep hitting the table.
I did that one. That one was supposed to be on purpose, but I was gonna say Ryan Reynolds, but then I said the wrong one. I was trying to say it wrong, and I did, but I surprised even myself. Ryan Reynolds needs to do way more stuff with Will Ferrell and way more singing stuff.
Yeah, you know how like those characters or those actors sort of like sell their soul to Tim Burton, and they only do movies with Tim Burton.
Yeah.
They should have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But together.
Yeah.
Okay, so I before we talk about whether or not this is for kids, and I really am excited about your take because I know we all know what you think about language, MrsRuvi. I said something similar in Five Nights at Freddy's. Mm-hmm. For me, just make this movie rated R. And let Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds be who they are, which is absolutely hilarious. And then make it for sure not for kids. And I think the movie would be even better. Will Ferrell rated R movies that I'm in love with. Old School, Semi-Pro, and Step Brothers. 3 of my favorite comedies ever. Oh my gosh, it would be so fun. And then just make it not for kids.
Okay, so I'm not with you on that. I think that when you have too many swears in a movie is when it becomes not funny. A well-placed swear is hilarious.
I want more innuendo.
Constant swearing and like making so much, like it's the sex jokes for me. I don't like sex jokes. They make me uncomfortable. I don't like objectification of women. Those
but hold on. Rank
Step
Brothers, scale of 1 to 10,
Step
comedic
Brothers
value.
is by far the worst Will Ferrell movie out there.
You don't believe that.
Anchorman is so much better.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
By a mile.
You probably think Talladega Nights is better too. Wrong.
I don't love Talladega Nights, but Step Brothers is a terrible movie. And I love Mary Steenburgen a lot. She's my favorite, the mom.
Is it like millennial guys that just like Step Brothers? Is that like it?
I think so.
Okay, who saw it when they were like 19?
Yeah, because most of us had to suffer through that with our 19-year-old boyfriends and listen to them quote it forever afterwards, and it was never funny. And that amount of swearing turns me off. Like,
did we just become best friends?
No, we did not.
Yep.
Nope. So like, yeah, I'm not with you. I think that a PG-13 level of swear, like I'm good for one F word, which I think is what PG-13 allows.
Right.
And so to me, the funniest movies are PG-13. Once they go for the R rating, it's nudity and sex jokes and inappropriate humor that just puts me off.
Fine. Look at this role reversal.
Yeah. It's going to go right back.
But Spirited.
So yeah.
What do you think about whether or not it is for kids?
So I agree with you that it was a hilarious movie. So much fun. I enjoyed watching it. I don't always love a Will Ferrell movie like what we're talking about. I don't like, the whole thing we just did. But I thought it was super duper fun. They do have quite a bit of swearing in this movie. And so that for me, the whole question is how much swearing are you okay with before you say it can't be a kid's movie? And so for me, I have a pretty high threshold for swearing that I'll allow in front of my kids. I don't like it if it's, like I said, sex stuff or anything. If it's degrading to the human person, I am not going to be a fan of that. But if it's just, like in this one, they make good afternoon a swear word, which is hilarious and delightful. So I actually watched this movie with my entire family last Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, the baby was probably asleep, but she's 2. She wasn't paying attention anyway.
Yeah.
She was at that time. Now she's 3. Anyway, so I watched this with my entire family. I didn't feel like I needed to turn it off for my then at that time 8-year-old. And I would watch it again this year with my family. I think it's funny. I think it's. But again, I'm not so worried about the swears. My question is, does the swear harm the human person? Does it degrade their dignity? Is it name calling? Is it hurtful? Is it racial slurs? That's going to be a bigger issue for me. But just like calling somebody the A word. That's funny. It's funny.
There were some adult themes throughout the film, which like most kids aren't going to notice, right? And that's fine. I feel like I have some of these takes lately where I'm just like, what's the point of letting your kids watch this movie when there's so many other Christmas movies out there? And maybe that's just because my kids are so young. We haven't seen a lot of Christmas movies together yet. Mm-hmm. We haven't watched Miracle on 34th Street. We haven't seen any of those, and so like maybe we start there, instead of starting with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. But again, I'm just kind of like, what's the point? Like, are they even going to like it that much? Did yours love it?
All thought it was hilarious. They loved and
they liked the singing.
They liked the singing. They thought it was so funny.
See, I as you mentioned, it was only available on Apple when it came out. Mm-hmm. I don't think they marketed the movie outside of social media super well, and so for me, it's just like maybe it's okay. I just said high school, middle school, high school for me of when I would let kids watch it, but that only is because there's just other ones out there that my kids haven't seen yet. So I would just start with the more innocent ones before watching this one.
Yeah.
But if you're watching 10 Christmas movies a year and like you need something new,
Yeah.
and you're cool with your kids hearing language and seeing some adult beverages here and there, it's not too bad.
Yeah. It's still just the story of A Christmas Carol that has all of its great, themes and stuff like that are in there. That's all still present. And so I watched it with an 8-year-old. I'm going to say if you have an 8-year-old and your parent is present, as long as you're present with them, I think it's okay to let an 8-year-old watch it. And, and if they're by themselves, I would say maybe 13, 14, but
yeah,
by 13 and 14, they've heard these words.
100%. And I love like Ryan Reynolds' character. I almost did Gosling again.
I know. I watched it
it's because I'm
form
obsessed.
on your mouth.
It's because I'm obsessed with The Notebook. Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why I always confuse the two.
You know what I like to call Jared Goff? Football Ryan Gosling.
Football Ryan Gosling. They do look alike.
Yeah. That Ken's job is ball.
But spoiler alert, his character development throughout the entire thing and where he goes in the end is is awesome.
Yeah. With the
It's
niece.
great. Yes.
Yes.
And there's just a lot of redeeming qualities in Ryan Reynolds' character.
Yeah.
So
he's also just a really good actor and person.
He's a good person.
I've never heard anything bad about Ryan Reynolds, and this is not like a Ryan Reynolds fan podcast, but like he's just a delightful.
It is a Ryan Gosling fan podcast.
It is. Yeah.
Is Deadpool for kids? It's not
No,
for kids.
That's not for kids.
No. We'll do that one maybe another day. But
is anyone having that question?
oh yeah,
Let us know in the
100%.
comments.
Listen, if you're gonna make me watch Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff like that, then absolutely we're gonna watch Deadpool and have an episode on that.
Okay.
In the meantime, please let us know what you do want us to talk about. Go to isthisforkids.com to look up everything, including our Patreon. There's a lot of really fun stuff there.
We have Christmas decorations. We're going to have a whole Christmas episode up on the Patreon. You should check it out.
Special just for them.
Just for them.
100%.
It's not that it's for you. Anyway, there's just so much media out there for us to navigate.
I'm Jonathan Blevins.
I'm Katie.
And help us help you figure out, is this for kids?